Hi. Well, I thought I'd do a little more teaching today on meditation, just in case it's something you're not really familiar with. I know our priest at our church gives out a wonderful sheet every week about Lectio Divina, which Lecto is reading. Of course, the word reading, like lectionary, and Divina means divine, so it's divine reading. And in his little sheet that he gives out a scripture and then it goes through the steps. And the steps are basically Lectio and then Oriato, and then there's meditato and then contemplato. And so, all Italian words. The idea of reading, Lectio, is simply to get it in. Oriato is kind of to take it apart and see what it means to you and what you get out of it. And then it may be something like a phrase, or it may be a story you read in the Old Testament or the New Testament. And I particularly think the Gospels are good for this, but not John so much, because John tends to, but it will work. John tends to have a lot of long discourses. It's more philosophical, but if you have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they tend to be more story-oriented and sometimes lend themselves better to Lectio than John does. But you can use John too, Old Testament passages too. And, when you're doing this, Oriato, or taking it apart, or thinking it, or pondering, or considering it, you might find yourself, but you are attracted to one word. Like I know in the book of Revelation, and I don't really like Revelation that much, there's one passage of the Last Judgment where it says, I saw a great white throne, and he who sat upon it, from whose faith heaven and earth fled away. Ever since my conversion, when I was about 16 or 17, that phrase, the one who sat upon it, from his face, heaven and earth fled away, has always captured me. There might be a phrase like that, or it might be a word. You might read a passage with the word pride, and pride might capture you. So orienta. And then we go to meditato, and this means we're going to meditate on that. And one good way to do that is break into some of the other meditation techniques we talked about. Like you might use that word. If the word you're thinking about is obedience, in the passage you read, as you meditate, you might say to yourself, obedience, 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 as you meditate on it. The word meditate, by the way, the first time I know about it really is when Isaac is out in the field and sees Rebekah, Isaac the son of Jacob, Isaac the son of Abraham, and it said he went out into the field to meditate. And that word in Hebrew really means mutter upon that word or that idea. So that's meditation. We're going to get this word into us. So meditate, and then contemplatio. We simply rest in that. We don't try to think it or figure it out. We let that word or phrase rest in our mind. And this process can take a total of 10 minutes, or it could take a total of 2 hours, depending on how much you get into it. So, that's the basic idea behind Lectio Divina. It's a method of meditation, and it's really old. It may be older almost than any other method that Christians have used. The monks certainly had a place every day for Lectio Divina in their task of work, study, and love, and all the other things they did. I know I'm a Franciscan, and we say there that we have three activities of the order, and they are work, study, and prayer. And you can see how those fit together: the work of reading, the study of the word, the prayer. And then in our Franciscan order, we have, following that, we have a lengthy list of principles. We have that what is supposed to be the product of these things in our life are the three notes of the order, which are humility, love, and joy. And so we meditate upon these things, we mutter upon them, that our life might be filled with those things, with joy and love and humility and all those things that are part of the notes of our order. So, and it can be parts of, I'll grant you honorary status to have it be a part of your order too. And you may want to write it down as part of your rule of life. But basically, that's the idea behind Lectio Divina. And I hope you've enjoyed this little talk about it. I'm going to move on to something new, starting with the next video, and that deals with some love poems from Rumi. And so there will be one more kind of teaching video coming up where I talk a little bit about who Rumi is and the life of Rumi and why he's so important and why Christians, Muslims, and Hindus have all found his writings to be very touching, very inspirational, and very mystical. So until then, my friends, see you later. Goodbye.